Right, round 12. Here we go. So, we've been on holiday, like other people are aware, and the council's pulled the trigger. We're putting it into planning. Absolutely, man, disgraceful. They try every trick under the book, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to ignore all now, man. And it's not good because there's some serious issues still got to be taken up here. So what I'm going to do, look, this one here, I'm just going to read out the email my wife put to Dan Hollingsworth, the Chronicle guy. Like I say, I'm not totally blaming Dan on this, although he's part responsibility in it with the Chronicle. Them are putting forward not the right argument. So yeah, I'll read it out, you can make your own minds up. Right, let's get into this. Right, this was from Angela to Dan Hollingsworth. Hello Dan. A planning application was put through by Newcastle City Council while I was on holiday, so everything is in a bit of a rush. It would be great if you could put some sort of statement out regarding this. The concerns I have, which I will be objecting about, are: firstly, the field is not disused, because they're trying to say it's disused. There's people on it playing every day, and it would be totally full if all playing on it. We know this is a lie. Wrong, totally wrong. So, Newcastle Council have refused to maintain the grass even during the pandemic, which you are supposed to be able to get onto your green spaces, remember what the government's giving away, but more importantly, these dirtbags down here are doing it, yeah? Don't care, you know it. The community statement on January 2021 states that 61, and this is a Toland's biased consultation, so they've went off one consultation. The one Toland put out was developer driven. The questions are as plain as the noses on our faces that is totally biased. And this is how they've tried to put it through. And this is what they're coming back with on that part, the part that Toland put out. So the community statement from 2021 states 61.98% strongly disagreed about affordable homes. 43% strongly disagreed about on-site sport pitches. Not sport pitches are two tiny little bits of grass. Didn't buy it. The picture they've put there is an absolute disgrace. And 66.12% strongly disagreed about the development, yet Newcastle City Council are still trying to go ahead with their plans. In the land contamination assessment, it states that unacceptable risks were identified during investigation works with regard to human health in relation to significantly elevated concentrations of lead in PAHSs. I have looked up PAHSs, and these are carcinogenics in the made soil, which is underneath the topsoil, and therefore these will be disturbed upon any excavations. This is potentially dangerous health hazard to residents, yet Newcastle City Council are allowing this to go ahead. So that's another pollution problem, let alone the ones out here, which we're going to come back to. And this is alongside two primary schools that come through there, and the school's right next to it, man. Taking your kids' health serious, not a dot. And your kids have got any say in this, Where's the kids' saying this? Fucking disgraceful, man. Disgraceful. £205,000 from the sale of the land is being used to benefit residents of West Denton and Westerhope. It is being used for a new school at Callerton for hockey pitches, The lads didn't want to play hockey, do you? I'm not saying people didn't want to, but you know, it's not top of people's list doing here in West Denton, I can tell you. You see many knocking hockey balls about here? Not really. What about updating existing field to be a multi-use sports field instead of building on it? Oh no, that is far too obvious. Plus it doesn't generate cash, and that's what it's down to, people. Get your heads around it, man. West Denton has a deficiency of park recreation land, but instead of updating the field to park recreation, they want to use Hills opposite Morrison's is a linear park. This is another excuse of coming up when people kind of saying some of the youngins supposedly how I did that part, you know, the little humps and all that. Not good enough. This area is right next to a busy main road, has no amenities, as in unsuitable for elderly or disabled people to use, so it's not fully inclusive. Whereas West Denton Community Centre field has parking, lighting facilities at the community centre as is flat. This field would be all inclusive and would benefit the whole community, which they know they will, but you know, they live and listen because they're on their own agenda, yeah. £240,000 was borrowed by traffic lights and the stump road for the traffic lights and the stump road for the development before any consultation was had with residents. Principal Housing Officer Helen Denham said in a phone call, which is recorded, you've heard this before, pardon, that a decision was made that because part of the site was proposed for housing, the skateboard park was removed because it was in a state of disrepair that costed £10,000. Yet the skateboard park was made so that blocks of it could be replaced. You lifted them in and you lifted out without destroying anything. Then what individual blocks, you lift them in with the machine and they were lifted out. It's all excuses. You've heard it before. They've had lots of excuses from the start. And when I got to her, this was a bitch you come out with, so we knew it. It's garbage and we've got their own paperwork to prove this. I'm telling you. Overdevelopment of the area means more cars and more pollution. Because of the new traffic light, the traffic backs up constantly down to the roundabout at Lempton Road ends. This means more cars are idling outside 2 primary schools, and this is well documented to cause harm to small children's lungs. In Housing Building Federation response to questions from Newcastle Council Development and Allocation Plan, it states that the potential supply for housing equates to over 2,000 extra houses or a 16% buffer. Newcastle Council can easily not use this field for development as they are over quota for the housing needs. But this is all down to money and nothing to do with the needs of residents, your youth and the rest. Yeah, you know this. Now's the time, people, to stand up. This is that time. I'm telling you, I'll come back to it in a minute. The size of the care home is very large, considering it is only meant to be for four 11 to 17-year-olds. I feel it has been designed so that some rooms can be used for extra bedrooms without forming residence. And you've heard the score. One of the lads from that development, and I'm not slagging everybody off, I'm telling you a fact that's not good. He brought 20 to my house twice. You've heard the story, the previous story. This is in a school entrance, next to primary schools, and they're in the car park, and that's where it's going to happen. So you've got people in this development, in that home supposedly, they just pop their heads out looking at traffic and cars and what's for them here as well. So them are going to just start in all this crack, man. You couldn't make this up, man, people. And why they put a home on these sites is because you can't object to children's homes. And that is the sole reason of doing it, and also the money will come into it as well. If they cared for kids that much, and you're only talking about 4, what about the hundreds of kids? Yeah, that's been disbanded and dislodged all over the place. Absolutely, you disgusting tour rags, man. You're disgusting. You're the lowest form of life. You people that are perpetrating this, I'm telling you, there's a few years as well. A few years. Nick Forbes, Forbesy, the total rat, you are going to answer. And you're going to get played till you answer this, and we all want to hear it. You dirty, dirty lowlife. You're the lowest. King Kipper. That's who he is. And there's more Kippers here. You'll hear them in a minute. Nick Forbes said this development would not go ahead if it was to the detriment of the existing residents, and of course it is. This development is not wanted by the majority of residents, and this development would definitely be to the detriment of residents' health and well-being. Enough is enough. Nick Forbes said he was in listening mode, but he has never been, nor has Newcastle City Council. I have resubmitted the petition with over 2,000 signatures, and Councillor Tracy Mitchell will be resubmitting petitions also, because she's got some. And you know what they've done? They just buried them in the cupboard. And you know what excuse they're going to try and come out with next? Well, we've looked at that Toolan's biased consultation. We looked at a little bit of what some people had put down to try to do that. And that's not what he said. He said it would be on hold, and if it was to the detriment, it wouldn't be going ahead, and it is. And they haven't come to it because we're going to show them that it's wrong. And this is how they're blindly going to put their heads down and try to get past with people, man. This is not democratic. Of course it's not. So that's what just put Dan Hollingsworth in the Crony Chronicle there. And this is what they put in the Chronicle. Get it on yourselves and have a look. This is a portion of it. So this is what they put in the Chronicle. New plans have been officially lodged to build homes on the field at the centre of a bitter development row in Newcastle's Outer West. For 2 years, locals in West Denton have pleaded with Newcastle City Council. Not pleaded, we've put facts in. We've got the paperwork yard sat along, and I don't care who you are out there, if you can get some legal guy, solicitor, anybody to help us get this out. We've got our heads above it, and we're going to intend to try to do this, man, but we're getting blocked by the media around here. We need proper journalists and other people to try and get this out or give us some advice, and we need to get it out, people, man. This is important. It's bigger than the field, this, what Angela's got. I'm telling you, I'm not bullying you, like. Sure, yeah, let's get into this. So anybody's pleaded, that's what he's put. Pleaded with Newcastle City Council to protect the green space at Hill Edge Road from being lost to housing. Such was the opposition to the proposals for the field next to West Denton Community Centre, which is popular with dog walkers, and fury at the demolition of the neighbouring skateboard park. The council and developers Toolan were forced to press pause on the development and rethink designs. Nobody wants to redesign, man. They want a park. I've told you this. Every opportunity they've been told by everyone. We want nothing on this. 3 cuts. It's back into some working order, and then a little bit extra help from whoever. Now you're not going to get off the council. The builder unveiled a new scheme this January, cutting the number of homes in the proposal from 60 to 45. So they're still taking it, man. You know what I mean? It just haven't got as many on it. Doesn't make it. It's not getting used then. Pledging to incorporate 2 sports pitches, though many residents remain vehemently opposed to the project. Those plans have now been formally submitted to the council, and a decision on the field's future is expected to be made by councillors this autumn. As well as the new affordable houses, the plans also include specialist children's home care facility, which would house up to 4 youngsters aged between 11 and 17. You've heard that crack? He's already got his ready-made gang, man. In a school entrance, really, really. Bar there, main road there, car park there, houses there with a car park. Aye, there's lots for them to do. You really care for kids. You don't care for any kids use. You low-life scumbags. In the public consultation on the plans earlier this year, 303 of 363 people who responded said that the revised plans did not address local issue complaints raised in 2019. So that we are certain there was more than that went in there. I now have 100 people myself personally, man, that contacted them. And they've tarted us and I've tarted people. So we don't believe in numbers, but anyway, we're not going to get into that part. But 303 out of 363, that's pretty blatantly telling them what's happening, Toolan's plan application claims that the field is generally unmaintained, offering limited recreational value, and that having 2 cared-for football pitches there instead will far exceed the existing quality of open space provided. It's not up to quality because they're not cutting it, and the council haven't cut it because they're taking the field under Sport England's 5-year playing field rule. It's blatant, man. You can't be allowing them to get away with this, man. They're caught out. We've caught them out on many aspects. You know this. Toolan, man. Lewis Turags couldn't even answer Angela back. They've got unconsiderate people and that, yet they're ignoring people here now, man. dirty man to just say anything that comes out of the mouth, don't believe a word. You Toland, tour rags, tour rags. But opponents of the scheme have insisted that the field has only become disused because the council has failed to maintain it. One resident who has already lodged an objection to the plan said the council may have decided to abandon this field and no longer maintain it, but that does not give the weight to the claims of the developers that it is not in use. Of course. Pardon. It is the only green space for dog walking in the area and would be an ideal place for children to play if the council had not decided to bulldoze a well-used skateboard park which was there, and that was wrongly done, and you know it is. Other complaints include claims that there was already nightmare traffic problems in the area and that a new development will only add to congestion and air pollution. Of course it will. You know, what kind of brain you got to have to walk out of there? Not a very big, it'll be bigger than mine of it, because, you know, I'm just off the streets, man. I'm hardly educated. But look, I do know what's right and wrong. And I can spot turds, lowlifes, scumbags a mile off. A mile off. I've got plenty skills in life and all that, because I've been brought up around here on the streets and all that. But you know what, pens to bring them up, I'm going to come back to these. Oh, hey, I'll swear in a minute. In a statement submitted with the planning application, consultants Litchfield said on the behalf of Toland the site presents a substantial location for development, with the proposed development of providing a mix of houses and sizes, a children's home and 2 sports pitches. I keep mentioning that. One's the size, more or less, of the skateboard park. There's 2 of them. So ever think about it. 2 little green bits there in amongst the cars all the way around and stuff, man. And then you haven't even got the people going to the bowling place yet. And then the school, you can't move for traffic, man. There's kids going to be seriously hurt. There's been kids hit in that field. And anybody wants to question us, come talk to us and I'll take you to someone who witnessed it. The loss of open space is justified by the benefits of the proposed development and the great contributions to on-site open space improvements to existing open space in the local area. They're taking open space over there, man. It doesn't work like that. It's just bullshit, people. It's bullshit. It doesn't benefit the people here. It benefits their pockets, of course, because they're selling houses, and the councils who get the money off. It's all about the money, people. All about the money. Right. And like I say, this is the Chronicle. Not just particularly picking Dan Allsworth, because he probably submits stuff, not sure he submitted the right stuff, but someone in there is not doing the right thing, and he's under a title of Local Democracy Reporter. Really? Really? Well, yeah, let's get to this bit here. So, when we're saying we had some documents that were very important, and we believe there's a shortage of open space in West Denton Ward in Westerhope. So I'll read this bit through. There's a bit first and then we'll come to some bits what Angela's marked. Right, this is an open space assessment for Thornley Road. So when Thornley Road, that development over past Morrison's down in there, was shown to an inspector, as you've heard if you've watched the previous ones, an inspector come from London. Joanna Gilbert's her name, I'll put her name out. You've heard that one if you've watched previous ones. And a lot that would talk or her answer any of her comments or questions we've got for her. It's kind of easy questions and not let at it. But here's a document, make your own minds up there. So, this is an open space assessment for Thornley Road, requirements of development. As discussed above, as per requirements set out in the 2018 Newcastle Open Space Assessment, the requirements for this development are as follows. 1. 2,090 metres square of open space provision on site of amenity natural green space and 41 metres of play space children. That's doing on Thornley, £143,000 off-site contribution for allotments, parks, recreation grounds and play, youth and all the rest there. And not spread out far amongst everybody, the higher number out, yeah, they can get plenty of money for to do the offices down there, Civic Centre. Believe that costs quite a few million, and then they can lend millions to some hotel or builder guy doing the quayside and then say they ain't got enough money and all that, man. Oh, really? Right. 5.2. The 2018 project brief for the disposal of the site sets out up to £150,000 will be required, secured via S.106 agreement for the delivery of high quality landscape schemes to enhance the functionality of one or all of the surrounding open space in the ward as a local park. Bits here, bits in, and they're going to call it a park. That's a park. Stupid fool, man. To include an outdoor gym and fitness trail, multi-sports, cool mouth, enhanced play space, seating and formal planting. We'll just go through that again. This is what they're saying needs to be put out there. Surrounding open space in the ward for a local park. To include an outdoor gym, fitness trail, multi-sports, cool mouth, enhanced play space, seating and formal planting there. This is where it can all be done. That's a playing field, we know it is, it'll be straight on it. They're trying to play on a little tiny pitch here, man. Everybody's going to be keen to get on that. And that's Sport England. That's their way of getting around it. Come back to them. This development will result in the loss of approximately 3.4 hectares of lower quality green space with West Denton. The proposed development includes 8,855 square metres, which is 0.89 hectares of public open space, amenity, natural green space, surpassing the council requirements by more than 6,700 square metres there. Little bit there, that'll be counting the verges next, man. Be counting the verges, telling you. So, 5.4, existing provision, right? So this is existing provision. As discussed in the previous chapter, the Newcastle Open Space Assessment 2018 demonstrated that there is a surplus of amenity green space in the West Denton ward, immediately adjacent in the West Denton ward, immediately adjacent to the northeast of the site, in an area of approximately 2 hectares, that's ours, of remaining open space amenity green space, with 2 smaller areas of open space, to the west of this, 0.25 hectares at Birkinshaw Walk and 1.4 hectares at Eden Walk, which are proposed to be retained and protected in the emerging DAP. This ensures that the loss of open space on site will not impact the local residents' access to request 2 hectares of green space within a 10-minute walk, or 0.1 hectares within 5 minutes walk. These areas will remain accessible to existing residents and knowers of the proposed development. Right? These will remain accessible to existing residents and those of the proposed development. Right, underneath Andrew's got this lined up and all that sort of something here, And this is 5.5, There are several other pockets of open space within the vicinity of the site, most notably the areas of Eden Walk and Birkinshaw Walk, mentioned previously, and an area of educational open space 600 metres to the east of Southwest Denton Community Centre. Additionally, approximately 450 metres to the north lies West Denton Leisure Centre and Studio West Denton School, which provides areas of private sport and leisure open space in the community. It is clear, therefore, that there is a wide range of existing open space provisions which is accessible and will remain accessible, falling within the open space requirements threshold noted in this relevant policy in the DAP part of the policy. Yeah, and Andrew's got there when they mentioned about West Denton Community Centre, no longer a leisure centre, only private sport, no free. So that's pretty important. That's telling us that that should remain accessible, because Joanna Gilbert's seen it, and that's a note she's read, and she's passed Stoneleigh Road on it there. Come on, hey. Couldn't make this up. Right, I'll see what I'm going to go on. I'm going to finish off now, and then I'll be starting to come definitely back on, and we're going to start to get stuff out here. I'll just go on a minute, right. Professor Eugene, this is the health guy. Supposing you're a health guy doing this is quite shocking, because what his last words were, and you heard some of his garbage in me previous ones, round whatever it was, you heard his excuses, didn't even stack up. More houses going to be better for your health there. You stupid clown, man. What a total muppet. Another kipper, man. Two-faced, no guts guy. Because you know what the shocking part of this is? I believe you, Professor Eugene, and your clowny mates are not taking the children's health here serious enough. These are young children, primary school kids, and the rest around you. You're not taking it seriously enough. I don't know, you're in that job, mate. Personally, I'm telling you no. So what his last words were, well, where we're at. What he said there was going to be compromises, right? Compromises. He's only saying one thing: compromises equals compromise your children's health and your health. But more importantly, the children's health who it affects more. What kind of health guy would come out with that, that you're compromising? He said compromises, and they're not compromising the houses or the home other, which is not needed. They're oversubscribed and all the rest. It's your health and your kids' health. Fancy someone coming out with that kind of garbage, yeah, right. What I'd like to know, and I'm putting this to all these kippers, the Chronicle, that idiot I've just been talking about, moron down there, Forbes, you know, like, total kipper. What, have a think about this. What kind of people knowingly do the wrong thing, which is to the detriment of people's mental health, your physical, and the kids' pollution health. Massive, massive issue. We know it's flooded with pollution here. There needs to be tests done over this side. This, you can't breathe hardly over here in the car park because it's surrounded by cars constantly in the morning. And then when they build this contraption, suppose new with the kids home and all that, it's taking part of the car park up. The car park's too small now. People in just know this, whoever comes here. And this is the answers are coming up when really. Professor Eugene, low life, mate. Yous are the lowest forms of life because you don't care. I hope some of your partners, if any of yous have got partners, man, these clowns I'm talking about, hey, I hope they get a look at this sometime. Then I'm an idiot now, whatever, with this crack. Not that good with the crack, but look, some of this crack I'm putting out facts here. And you're not even on that. You got to take all that kids' health serious, eh? If you can't take all that kids', what kind of person are you, eh? Your partners need to take, if they see this, they need to take a good old look at some of yous, man. Because yous know the kids' health's getting affected, and it's wrong, and yous know it's wrong. 2 seconds, I've just tweaked something here. Sure. Dan Hollingsworth in the Chronicle, right? When he put in about stuff, hey, I'm going to ask you this, the Chronicle, about the unacceptable risks, which have been identified significantly elevated concentrations of lead and BAHs, carcinogenics. Why would that not be brought up? Do the Chronicle not care about the youth's health problems? You're doing days. Not showing you're doing care, man. Wow, low lives, low lives. And now some of you sleep at night. Do it now, you sleep at night. Not nice people, man. Would any of you associate with kind of people that had that mentality of thinking, that don't care about youth just because they're not theirs or whatever? Think that's alright? Well, it's not, as you know. It's not. And what about the other parts Angela put? About a £240,000 a borrow. Did they put that in? Nah. What about Ellen Denham's crack? She just kind of put all that garbage they put to her, and it's put it to bed as garbage, hasn't it? Because she said at the end of it that, well, yeah. As she said, we're bringing a development forward. We thought we'll just take a skateboard park down, and that speaks it there, man, for itself. Principal housing officer, recorded. And all the other problems we've got because the pollution, yeah, definitely is going to have to be, the machine's going to have to be moved. They're trying to say they can't move that testing equipment from over there into the entrance. Like I said, the one up the roads in the entrance, them are getting readings what's starting to peak. We thought that was, yeah, we've been kind of looking at the wrong one. And it's not through war, kind of just the way it's set up. And they said that can't be moved over there. I believe that's an absolute lie. And you know, kids' health, I think they should take this more seriously. Well, they should, shouldn't they? Right, that's gonna do. Right, I'll come back with some ease. Take care, man. Get the comedy stuff on. Don't watch that telly. And yeah, they've got it into planning. Get on that council portal, which they've made it hard for people to do, but people are putting it on. Read some of the facts out, what people are putting on there, because that now is a legal document, people. Down there, that's a legal document. There's some serious stuff getting said on these comments down there to it. And I tell you, we want it out. I'm coming on next and we'll sort something else out. Take care, catch us later. Bye.